Hello, hello, and welcome, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation reading for August and September 2021. I'm your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, now on Kindle. Links in the description box. If you want to go check it out. The Archangel of Lions, Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hello, my crab cakes. Oh my god, I got to see one of my favorite Cancerians on planet Earth for a couple of days. Took some time off, went upstate to Saratoga to see my mom, the main crab in my life. I love her so much. Miss her terribly, but I think I'm eventually moving up to Saratoga. It's really gorgeous up there. I mean, the winters are sort of glacial, but you do it. It's not like Long Island's really any better in that way. So let's get down to business, shall we? We're doing a 12-card spread, work, career, vocation, 3 levels of power, looking at your life purpose. There is a link in the description box from Carolyn Myss, MYSS. This is her archetype deck we'll be kicking off the reading with. Lecturing on the 3 levels of power, that, like a lens that you, like a 3-part lens that you can look at any area of your life. Here we are looking at life purpose through work, career, and vocation. And whatever comes out of my mouth in explanation is probably what you need to hear, but do understand we are scratching the tip of that iceberg there, so you might want to go deeper if you feel so called to explore the 3 levels of power. You can do it in relationships, just on and on and on. So also, if you want to book me for a private reading, it's easy enough to do. I made a video a couple of weeks ago explaining not just how to get a reading with me, but what goes on before, during, and after. Like, for example, did you know I ask my clients to contact me in some way, shape, or form, hopefully in the physical, 48 hours or so after the reading to let me know how the energy is integrated, because the words just float on top. A lot of healing goes on in a reading as well as in a spiritual counseling, and I'm going to make one of those videos for spiritual counseling too. I just haven't yet. All right, I guess that's about it, except to say it's a general read. Let's be adults about this. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because I'm finding with these readings, and I've done work, career, vocation reads for clients for decades, is that usually work, career, or vocation, one of them is your leverage, right? Get that one into balance, and the other 2 usually follow along. Oh, there are chakras involved. We'll get there as we get there. Otherwise, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can about your work, career, vocation for this specific timeline, August, September 2021. And all the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box, with lots of lovely links to videos on YouTube and elsewhere should you choose to explore. Are you ready? Breathe. Oh, nice relaxing breath. Oh, how about one more? Oh, yeah, here we go as I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, vocation, and the higher selves of all involved. 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please get that hair out of my face. Can we get 3, please, 3 archetype cards representing the 8th chakra, if you will, the soul center, the star center hovering above the head, for the work, career, and vocation for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. First, we'll do work, the physical world, the lower 3 chakras, their survival intuition, what they do to survive in the world. For their career, heart, throat, third eye, crown dynamic, their creative intuition, their interior world, the world behind their eyes, their passion, their hunger, their thirst. The archetype is in place. And for their vocation, their spiritual calling, 8th chakra, defined for sure, their inspiration, their mystical power, right? That higher archetypal POV, right? The satellite point of view, where they really get their directions from the divine. In their vocation, these are already written in the, oh, you got 2. Oh, okay, 2 came out. It's a little humid today. I will read both. I'll try and fit both in the title. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. I'll try and make it fit. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, let's get to work here. In your work, you have a survival family archetype and a feminine family archetype. We're not talking about gender here. You've got the victim, victor archetype. Victim is the shadow. Victor, as in victory, is the light. And the divine feminine family, virgin. It's interesting, VIRGIN, VICTIM, right? So virgin, victim, victim, virgin. Now keep in mind, survival family, everybody has the child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute. Read Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss, or by all means check it out on YouTube. I'm sure you'll find thousands of videos of her talking about it. So this is about boundaries and self-esteem. We'll get there in a minute, but when paired with the virgin, it's not about getting your stuff touched. People immediately want to stuff it in that box, and that's not what it's about. So let's start with her, shall we? The virgin archetype, this is in your 8th chakra, affecting your work in some way. The shadow attribute, fear of intimate union, right? When someone just doesn't want to connect with anything intimate, out of fear. And in the working world, the way things are right now, I can understand that, but that's more of the survival issue. We'll get to there in a minute. This is different. The light attribute, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit, right? So I have a touch of the virgin archetype. I'm a Virgo. You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, as well as this could be you, someone you're dealing with, a lesson you're learning, and it can be all of that simultaneously. But my example, being a virgin, is a bit of a purist. I don't like karaoke. I don't like hearing people sing off key. I don't like either good choreography done badly or bad choreography done worse, right? It's just an artistic thing. Same thing with a stick of butter on the table. I mean, even with my family, if there's like all cuts and crumbs on one side, I will go to the opposite side, right? Do you have the individual wrapped one, please? A little Land O'Lakes cube for me there. So you get that. But to do this in your work, this is very much about having a real purity about what you do without compromising your heart and your spirit, right? But with the victim archetype, remember, everybody has this. Nations have this, companies, corporations, political parties. This is everywhere. This is everyone. The shadow attribute, playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, right? It's like, oh, woe is me. It's a bit of a drainer. It's a bit of an energy downer for sure. The second part of this, inability to maintain personal boundaries. And I think the virgin, considering, I'll say the word, symbolic hymen, it doesn't matter your gender on this, then there is a boundary there that you're having trouble maintaining if you're dealing with the shadow. Most of us are. I mean, just to go food shopping, right? It's a little tricky just being in the world right now. But the light attribute is pure gold. Prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. So understand this is about self-esteem and boundaries. The victim archetype is the guardian of lessons of self-esteem and boundaries. So it's not just about a boundary keeping everything out, right? Because that we understand, right? Shields, right? But also binding things back, like a vicious tongue, like that thing that you want to do to victimize somebody else, to pop their bubble, right? And to keep your symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Certainly boundaries are needed in the outside world, but to then bind back your own toxicity so that you can heal it within yourself, which does make sense here. With your career, you've got the Shapeshifter. They really snuck that second card in there. I usually really feel to check, but it is humid here. The Shapeshifter, I'm pretty sure it's the wild card family archetype. The shadow attribute, projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. So imagine being at like a house party. I know, do you remember house parties? Oh my God, they were so much fun. Hang out in the kitchen. So in the kitchen, you're one person, and then you go into the living room and there's a whole other political conversation or something going on there, and you adapt and you become that, right? Not really authentic to who you are. Now, in careers, how many people do that, right? I mean, I was in retail for a while, or a very, very long time. I quit retail to start Drawing the Circle in 1998. But certainly it's like, thank you. Right? You know, shapeshifty, a little too chameleon, let's say bad karma chameleon. The light attribute, though, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. And that's really key in your career, to see the potential in anything, as well as to, let's put this first part of it in a more vernacular way, meet people where they're at. So if you are a high spiritual Reiki master, Zen, Taoist, Buddhist, high grand poobah, witch of this or that or whatever, you know, at the corner store, just say hi, right? You don't have to say, oh, I see your aura, right? Meet people where they are at without compromising your symbolic purity of heart. That's tricky, but that's a work, career, vocation. Understand that your life purpose is not about you making money. That's part of it, sure, but it is about developing certain soul strengths and soul powers. It's why we are sent into this world to play the game called life on Earth, at least as a human, right? I don't know that my cats have those same issues. They seem to be pretty damn authentic. But that shapeshifter can be very, very, very tricky, like a trickster, although the trickster archetype is another card in this deck. And this is the one that probably you are very, very brave, considering I have the victim and the virgin. What I'll probably do is victim/virgin, if I can fit all this in. And the destroyer here, now I gotta say, if you're going to get the destroyer archetype, this is a good place to get it, because the shadow side of it is well, I've seen it happen with people who have access to their mystical power. Intoxication with destructive power. A little Mr. Burns going on there. Destroying others' dreams or potentials, which very much aligns with the victimizer, right? So it's victim, victimizer / victor. The light attribute, releasing what is potentially destructive. Releasing what is potentially destructive, like your desire to wound somebody, to victimize somebody, or to just kind of shapeshift, chameleonize your way through this and to be more authentic and meet people where they're at. Preparing for new life. So if you have been victimized in your work in terms of your purity of heart and spirit, there's some inner work here certainly indicating, just feel that, not that it's written on the card, but definitely that's going to affect heart, third eye crown dynamic. We'll get to that in a bit. And to get up in that crown chakra and see your vocation right now is about clearing the way for the new. I'm actually simultaneously doing the full moon to new moon shadow reads. Once I get this one done, I just did Gemini. This is Cancer, work, career, vocation. So I'll take a break, have a little lunch. Then I'll do Gemini, Cancer, 7-card draw shadow read for full to new. And new moon's on my birthday, September 6th. Yay, new moon in Virgo, rock and roll. But, you know, that shadow period leading up to that, those last 3 days before new moon, dark of the moon, shit tends to explode, right? Tends to come up for it to be healed and resolved. So, like I said, if you're going to get anywhere, get it there. Because particularly if this was not a personal victimization that you went through, could be that your industry has shut down again, right? So, but there's something there. That Virgin card came out with it for a purpose, right? So let's see what that's about, particularly now, since it said in it, purity of heart and spirit. We're going to use Daughters of the Moon Tarot to look at the next 4 chakras: crown, third eye, heart, throat, and heart. So this should be telling. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my goddesses of water and the sign of Cancer, please, my beloved goddesses, 3 cards in clarity face down for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on inside of them, their personal level of power in their work, career, vocation, heart, third eye, crown dynamic. They have got the victim, I'll say cross, just because I'm crossing the cards so I can see both of them. In their work, their survival intuition, their physical power, their literal level of power, the victim crossed with the virgin there, symbolic purity of heart and spirit. That's 2. Please, what's going on in their heart, third eye crown, the inside world with their work with that victim and virgin. For the Shapeshifter in their career, since this is the heart, throat, third eye, crown level of power, the personal level of power, bring us some more clarity about the heart chakra, if possible, for them in their career, particularly because we're talking about water signs here. More emotion is water, water is emotion. And for their vocation with that destroyer archetype in the 8th, what's going on in their heart, throat, third eye, and crown here for their vocation? That's 2. Let's try one more time. Please leave the card in my hand, my beloved goddesses of water and the sign of Cancer. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, we got some water here. It's all, well, it's 2 minor arcana card and a court card. And when it's the heart, throat, third eye, crown, it's really not somebody outside of you. This is behind your eyes. So if you have any of the astrological placements in that sign, certainly look into that. Even if it's an outer planet, you might want to look into it and see what's going on in terms of personal transit. Otherwise, it refers to the house, the energy. We'll get there. It's in your vocation, which is a good place to get it. Remember, you got this victor cross going on here in your work with the 7 of Cups. And in this deck, the code word written on it is jealousy. I will call it emotional upset. Not so much like the 5 of Cups. The thing is that sometimes our options aren't what we want them to be, right? I mean, you're very emotionally upset about that. Certainly, Rider-Waite deck, 7 of Cups, cups in the sky, castles in the sky, right? All of the different things, and which one do I want, right? And there's the dragon for conquest, and jewels for wealth, and the castle, right? All of those things. But sometimes when we're getting the options we need, here is what I'm hearing, when we get the options we need but not the ones we want, jealousy can arise. Now, jealousy is certainly an emotion. Matt Kahn, who I adore, as you know, we're using his healing mantra deck, last 3 cards down, for this reading. He says that jealousy is actually a form of intuition, saying that what you want is coming, but you need to deal with these feelings. Because you're not seeing clearly, and this is in my book, Words of Grace. I learned it from Carolyn Myss, Anatomy of the Spirit, and Defy Gravity, and so much of her work. Huge influence on my path, Caroline Myss, PhD. The deadly sin of envy is in the third eye. So it's often that we're not seeing clearly, and believe me, when people are jealous, not only are they not seeing clearly, but they treat you very differently. So if there's jealousy within you, really, really look at your boundaries. Really, really look at the symbolic purity of your heart. Now, I would say if you are being challenged specifically with jealousy, it's really hard to admit to start with. And that's why you'll see what's in the heart, third eye, crown next level that we're going to look at. But to give that voice a healthy healing and a healthy hearing, like let it express itself, but it can be done behind closed doors in therapy and counseling or journaling in some way, shape, or form to vent that, which certainly with this destroyer archetype might be clearing your energy field for what you really want to come in. And if it is something pure that you really, really want, a heart's desire type thing. Self-esteem, by the way, is a verb, not a noun. You don't have it or not have it. It's, it's not something you possess or don't possess. It's something that you do. So sometimes our evaluations, right? What is estimation, right? Self-estimation is a verb. Well, maybe you're estimating yourself and or somebody else in a way that's victimizing them and victimizing yourself. Self-victimization is still part of the victor archetypes. There are definitely emotions to be felt here, but understand underneath all of that, there is that purity of heart and spirit that never changes. That's the truth of who you are. Yeah. It's okay. It's understandable, right? Maybe, like I said, your industry has shut down and other industries are thriving. It's right? I get it. And that is definitely indicated here with the Shapeshifter in the 8th in your career, the Volcano, Pele, 5 of Flames, 5 of Swords. This isn't just conflict. This is about something that has been pent up for a while, right? It's Pele the volcano, right? So all of that molten magma below the crust just boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling. And finally, we're looking at an eruption here. Element of fire for sure, which is very much about your throat chakra, your will, your desire. How are you going to express that? And that's why I think, not necessarily counseling, CSW, MSW, necessarily any of that. Could be, if that's what you're called to go for. But definitely that is also passion blocked, right? That is desire blocked. That is power blocked. So with the Seven of Cups on the inner in your work, which I get if you're not able to do as you like in your work and other people are, then certainly with that fire burning inside of you, can you see the potential in everything, including that this is fuel, this is fire, this is creative pressure, really for you wanting to do something in your career while your work is suffering, perhaps. I mean, it's hard to not see that victim archetype without feeling the vibe of somebody saying, it's not fair, I did everything I could. You get what I'm saying? And so that anger needs to be dealt with. That fire needs to be embraced in a healthy way. Shadow work. And with that shapeshifter, right? You could be fronting in the shadow, pretending to be one thing to get what you want rather than what you need. Because I feel like what you need is on the table here. A skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, even within yourself. Because your soul, the eternal, immortal, birthless, deathless, guiltless, sinless creation of the divine, is always raw. It's respectful, it is acknowledging, and it is welcoming. So to be that, right? And nobody needs to know you do this. I was raised by a Cancerian mother. If she let an emotion slip, right? Just because you're water signs doesn't mean you're necessarily overt about it, unless you are. This is really something that you can navigate. The ego, which is always at war. It's always worried, anticipating, so it avoids pain. And what's the last one? So it worries, anticipates, and regrets, right? So there can be all of that and a side of fries in this for you. This is a huge opportunity. It feels like this is your leverage. It feels like doing the internal work, heart, third eye, crown, is going to help you see the potential in this situation. And boy, is my book Words of Grace based on that. I wrote that. I said this in the last reading. I wrote my book Words of Grace when my career was completely demolished beyond my ability to demolish it. It was just a conflagration of total caca that fertilized a whole new garden. How's that for metaphor for you? Right? Shit makes good fertilizer. And I had to let go of a lot of people. I had to weed the garden of my life to do that. And maybe that's what's going on here. Here is your court card, Gemini. The Gemini card, Hina, the Maiden of Blades, which would be the Knight of Swords here. Heart, third eye, crown. We're definitely looking at third eye dynamic here, particularly with the Destroyer. Look, I can get you wanting to use your spiritual mystical power to destroy who or what victimized you in your work with that jealousy, right? A green-eyed monster will make you do crazy shit that later on you go, oh my god, I can't believe I did that, because you were possessed by pain, possessed by the demon envy. That's why they are called deadly sins, not mildly inconvenient mistakes. Yeah, and yet the Course in Miracles does say you're an eternal being. You cannot sin in a divine plan, because even those things are part of the divine plan for your healing, your growth, your evolution. That's why we come here. That's why we're sent here. And with this Gemini card here, lots of thought. Just lots and lots and lots of thought. So I'm going to suggest you really go with what is releasing. Oh, potentially destructive. I didn't even realize it's a volcano and a volcano, right? So your 8th chakra really has the information here that you need. I would certainly look at meditation or researching, looking into things, reading like a butterfly, going from flower to flower to flower to flower to flower, gathering pieces of information like a Gemini would. And if you have Gemini placement somewhere in you, that even, like I said, even if it's like your Neptune, I don't know where that is right now in the sky. That might have been 100 years ago. I don't know. But certainly to look into that and see if there is a transit going on there. But certainly this is also about self-expression. So I do think there are some things here that you need to say. as well as see differently, and certainly the right of confession, regardless of spiritual tradition, even if it's to a lit candle, even if it's to a lit candle in your own mind, to say, well, I feel this way and I'm so enraged and all of my dreams and all of my passions and everything I want to do just seems thwarted at every turn. How come they get to do that? And the divine is going to say, of course you feel that way. There's no other way that you could feel that. Get it off your chest, but understand we're all one. So it's not them versus me. It's how can I see the potential in this situation that's inspiring growth? And I'm going to give you the title of Matt Kahn's. Well, Matt Kahn has 3 books so far. Whatever Arises, love that. Highly recommend it. But the second one, Everything Happens for Everything is here to help you. Everything is here to help you. You go, how is envy and rage and resentment? Well, he goes into it in the book, and if you catch his YouTube channel, he talks about that stuff quite a bit. Lovely, 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 lovely. So the healing opportunity here is huge to bring all of this into alignment, but let's see what it looks like on the outside. And by that I mean from the outside looking in at you, and or you from the inside looking out at some aspect of the physical that would interact or have to do with the lower 3 chakras, root, sacrum, solar plexus, and money is part of that. Sacral, right? Security is in the root chakra, but money is a one-on-one relationship. Think the navel, umbilical cord, your relationship with money too. So please take a nice deep breath. Okay, so I call upon my gods of water in the sign of Cancer. Please, 3 mythic tarot to represent the external part of this, for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation, from the outside in, from the inside out, all of that, some of that. They've got the Virgin crossed with the Victim archetype. In their work with the 7 of Cups on the inner, said jealousy, but that can also be that they've got a lot of options, but none of them which they are enjoying is the feeling I get, particularly with that Victim archetype. With the Virgin, nothing really serving the purity of their heart and spirit there, so just not wanting to get intimate with anything, not wanting to get really, really deep on stuff. So what's going on there in the physical for them? How about that shapeshifter in their career? Hopefully that ability to navigate different levels of consciousness within themselves, from the ego to the soul to the higher self, right? Personalities in there somewhere as well with that 5 of Flames, Pele, the volcano on the inner, what's going on the outer. And with the Destroyer in their vocation, with Gemini on the inner, as we said, some communication, maybe some confession, some therapy. It doesn't necessarily have to be therapy, but it can be a really, really healing way of talking about things here, expressing themselves or researching something of the sort. What does that look like on the outer? Please leave the card. That's 2. Please leave the card in my hand for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation. Let's look. Okay, Court card, Minor Arcana, Court card. Okay, so these can actually represent people. Again, could be you, can be both. Oh, and I would think for sure this might be you, Virgin Victim in the 8th, 7 of Cups, Heart, Third Eye Crown. King of Cups, the Cancerian card, Orpheus. Long story. Don't look back, not even in anger. Literally a crab on the card. That's why I love Juliet Sharman Burke's Mythic Tarot, plus it speaks my 2nd language of Greek mythology. So I think you're keeping your cool here, right? There are emotions brewing for sure, but you're not really letting on. Right? I would say in terms of boundaries, like self-esteem and boundaries, that your boundaries are probably pretty clear about what you won't do. But you really need to take the time to feel this out then. If this is how you're appearing, it's showing emotional maturity for sure. But also creative water. Like these emotions are not here to destroy you. They're to help you create. Right? All right, I'll say it again. I think I said this yesterday in one of the readings. I love Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine, obviously not written from a place of pain, but look at all the good art that came from artists finding catharsis through their art, right? And in so many different ways, not just, vocal artists or, performing artists, visual artists, but how people will recreate their own lives, their entire worlds around a victimization. Right? And there is something pure in your heart here. And that's why I think you really want to be loving here. You really want to be in alignment with your truth, your spiritual principles, right? Oh, we're all one, except for that bitch over there, right? I get that. You can feel that. That's certainly here in this lane. But I think you'll like what we are about to see here. And I think it's going to challenge that virgin archetype in you big time. Your career, you've got Shapeshifter. 5 of Flames, 5 of Wands, a bit combative, but really that sense of pressure building up. With the 3 of Pentacles, a collaboration, at least sharing with other people some of your wisdom and your experience, and maybe them sharing some of it with you. Now, I'm not getting that this is a counseling situation, as much as this may be networking. I'm not thrilled with that word anymore. I've been to enough boring network meetings, and never again the networking meetings. But certainly a collaboration. 3 of Pentacles is a solid foundation upon which something new may be built. And in terms of your career, it can be that whatever this snafu situation, normal, all fouled up, in your work is really opening you to see the potential that's actually here. That if something is taken away from us, it's so that something new can come in. I know, when one door closes, another door opens, blah, 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 cliche, cliche, cliche. But I kind of get that there's a lot of passion here, a lot of power, a lot of creativity, a lot of element of fire here that you may be able to collaborate, if not commiserate, with others who may have gone through the same thing or are going through the same thing. And together you pool your resources. By joining forces, it's a phenomenon. So here you've got, here's your second court card. You got the Destroyer in the 8th, Gemini on the inner, and the Knight of Cups, the Piscean card, the Pisces card. Now to me, Pisces is the mystic. Scorpio has a nice touch of it too. That's more like the hidden occult mystic, where Pisces, those 2 fish, right? This can absolutely be a spiritual message coming into you, or at least an intuitive hit. Now that can be you from the inside out. And what I find interesting is in your work, you've got the King of Cups. In your vocation, you have boys. I don't know if you heard that. Kitties are fighting upstairs, my boys. Here we've got the Knight. This is definitely about a quest, and you've got 2 knights. You've got the Knight of Cups on the outer, and you've got what would be the Knight of Swords on the inner here. Now, I will say, intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potentials, I understand that. Ooh, I'm extremely well trained as a witch. I learned that to heal, you have to know how to hex, because it's the same movement of energy, but the intention is different. And even in 5th dimensional and higher experiences, I've been seeing that blessing or curse, it's all the same to the angels and the archangels, right? Because how often has a blessing turned out to be a curse and a curse to be a blessing, right? It's all upon seeing the potential in it. So whether this is someone writing in to really help you, perhaps with an intuitive message, feels like it could even be someone you're collaborating with here in your career who really gives you or activates within you a very strong intuitive hit that's moving you forward. Now, I will say, of the 4 speeds of riding a horse, there's walk, trot, canter, and gallop. Pisces is trot. Gemini is gallop. So I would say, I really feel like your main leverage is here in your career, but there's something to be said here about that destroyer archetype, releasing what is potentially destructive. This could be a sympathetic, empathetic, not necessarily an empath, but empathetic person writing in, or that is you saying, I am just going to follow my calling. That's it. This all happened for no other purpose, forget reason, purpose, than to get me really, really clear that I need to make room for new life, right? It does make sense if there was a victimization in your work that your calling is calling. Like London calling, darling. All right, 3 more cards down. You're actually getting 13 cards for this spread because of that double whammy victim, virgin, victim going on there in your work. Matt Kahn Healing Mantra Deck. Please take a nice deep breath. What are you doing over there, Melky? Melchior? Give me in a Cancerian read being all mama. Yeah, that's right. You're just sniffing the door. Sure you are. Please take a nice deep breath. Watch those cats like a hawk. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of Life, Purpose through Work, Career, and Vocation. Please, 3 cards. What are the perfect healing mantras? From the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra Deck for the Cancerian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, and vocation, to help them heal this, to help them grow and evolve and become the best that they can be at whatever it is that their life purpose is about this time around. In their work, they've got the Virgin and the Victim in the 8th, 7 of Cups on the inner. A lot of water there. There were a lot of emotions, and jealousy might be a part of it. Someone's jealous of them, but then they're really aware of it. And with that King of Cups, their sign, the Cancerian card, King of Cups on the outer, we're looking at an emotional situation here. So please, what is their perfect healing mantra? Not going to look at it. Just going to put that over there. That Shapeshifter in their career, 5 of Flames, Pele on the inner, 3 of Pentacles, which if you think about it, there is a healthy initial support system there for them to perhaps express some of that molten magma, just go all lava on the Cancerians there, or the Cancerians going all lava on them. But it feels very, very friendly. So what is their perfect healing mantra to go with this, please, to help them with that? And in their vocation, the Destroyer, Gemini on the inner, Pisces on the outer. No, that's 2. If it was just 1, I would have taken it, maybe. So please leave the card in my hand. What is their perfect healing mantra in their vocation? Just leave it in my hand. All right, now I'm going to say, if you take the titles of these and write them down, they really kind of sum up the reading. However, if you also write down what the mantras are and put them together, you have a paragraph of power. Greeting wellness, acknowledging apprehension, and integrating the ego totally makes sense, right? So let me do this for you. The Virgin and the Victim. 7 of Cups on the inner, King of Cups on the outer. Greeting wellness. Balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. And I know this mantra because I get this mantra at least once a month. I pick them rather often for myself. I love this deck. It is about managing, bringing your body into balance. It's about eating right, getting rest. Like, are you exhausted? Have you been victimized by other people putting things onto you that are theirs to do? It's another form of it, right? People abdicating responsibility and you having to, well, Cancerians are the mothers of the zodiac. It's just how it is, right? So balance is a key to a life of infinite miracles. That means, yes, of course, the nutritional, the physical, exercise and all of that, but it's also taking time to rest. It's also very much about bringing yourself into balance, because then a life of infinite miracles, you begin to realize, if you see the potential in things, that everything is an opportunity for a miracle. But since I am so knee-deep or higher in A Course in Miracles right now, really the prayer for a miracle, I mean, give me a miracle is good, but help me see this differently, to something higher. Help me see this from the soul's point of view, from the higher self's point of view, from the divine's point of view. And that is certainly a skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness. So let's go there here. The Shapeshifter in the 8th in your career, lots of fire, Pele, Volcano on the inner. 3 of Pentacles, solid foundation that can be built on, acknowledging apprehension. I love this one. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When I'm unsure, it's always a no, right? When it's a yes, well, you have to acknowledge I'm apprehensive, and that is something. I have all this fire inside of me, and I don't know what to do with it. Well, that's understandable. Again, we're looking at throat chakra dynamic here. Choices, decisions. Do you say it? Do you not? Right? Well, I love this one, because if someone asks me to do something, and I'm like, I know, I'm a little apprehensive, and I don't know why. Could be an intuitive thing. So if it's a yes, nothing can stop me. But if I'm unsure, it's always a no, and I like to add to that, at least for now, right? Either it's about I am going to go for it or I am going to pull back, gas or brake. And to acknowledge that, because your apprehension is part of the journey, right? To give even that voice a voice in a healthy way. I don't know, because we don't see the whole picture. We just don't, right? With everything that's going on the planet right now, ecologically, right? In a health sense, in a political sense, in an economic sense, how can we make wise, clear decisions? Well, we can look for the potential in everything, but also acknowledge that we're apprehensive. So if it's a yes, nothing can stop me. It's a very intuitive water sign thing. But if I'm unsure even a little bit, it's a no for now. Isn't that good? It's really good. In your vocation, I think you'll dig this. The Destroyer, Gemini on the inner, Pisces on the outer, with integrating the ego, everything is for me, not against me. This is, I'm going to say this is a strong leverage, but in terms of your career, I feel like that's your main leverage. This is really getting up and making room, releasing a lot of this destructive energy in a healthy way to prepare for new life by getting that I am a soul that was sent down into essentially the largest video game ever made since the dawn of time until the end of time, for souls to come and learn and grow. It's part obstacle course, parkours, right? It's part playground, because we do get to have fun here. I mean, I don't know that they have dark chocolate with sea salt in other dimensions. Maybe we're it, and I'm glad for that. That might be how they finally convinced me to come down. Wait till you see what they do with dark chocolate. I'm like, what's dark chocolate? Let's find out. Let's find out. So, the Course in Miracles has another way of saying this, which is pretty much a constant mantra. This is happening for me, not to me. This is happening for you. That everything that happens is here to make you better, but the soul doesn't have to enjoy it to acknowledge that's true. So everything down to the quark, down to the subatomic particle, as well as the universe as a whole, hence the universe, everything is for me, not against me. But certainly with the victim archetype, you're probably experiencing that in that level of power. Get up into the 8th chakra. That's going to help you see things differently, express your creativity or your rage, can be both, in a way that is really healthy and healing. Let me put this together for you in a blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. I got my rock here. As I call upon my collective pantheons of the divine, please may the Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs be blessed with a little black kitty. Hi, Milky. You lay down, lay down. I don't know if you can see him on the black background, unless you see those beautiful eyes staring at you. Sorry, it's a little distracting. Never work with animals or kids. W.C. Fields, one more time. Just whack me with your tail. Oh, distractions galore. Motherhood, it never ends. Breathe. As I call upon my collective pantheons of the divine to please bless the Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, that in their work they may maintain symbolic purity of heart and spirit, certainly dealing with the tumultuous emotions going on within them with that King of Cups, greeting wellness, bringing this all into balance for infinite miracles, which prevents them from letting themselves be victimized or victimizing others, so that in their career they can develop the skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness. The 8 chakras alone are different levels of consciousness, with an ability to see potential in everything that will help them manage this 5 of flames, this powerful passion, anger, rage, wrath, creativity within them, great power within them, with the help of collaboration, working with others in a way in their career that sets a solid foundation, and that they can acknowledge their own intuitive apprehension here, because when it's a yes, nothing can stop them. When they're unsure, it's always a no. So that in their vocation, which they may want to look at first here, they can release what is potentially destructive within them, preparing for new life by really communicating and expressing in a safe, sane way, gathering information like a butterfly from flower to flower to flower to flower, with this Piscean Knight of Cups on the outside, really, really going with their gut, really, really going with the flow of things and receiving intuitive, empathic, spiritual, visionary intuition for sure in this third level of power, so that they can integrate the ego, seeing that everything is for them, not against them, and considering so many millions, if not billions of people are in the same situation here in some way, shape, or form. As they heal, may we all heal, so that they know, the ones watching this video, receiving this reading, that their healing is not just for them, that they are helping to heal this world through their work, career, and vocation, bringing it all into one motion of energy from 8th chakra down to root, and then from root chakra back up to 8th, back and forth, healing and incarnating essentially heaven on earth, paradise within themselves, little by little by little, for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So motivate, and so it is. Look, work, career, vocation reads ain't easy, but mind you, I'm doing the 7-card shadow reads right after this. I'm taking a break. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you want a reading, book me. Link in the description box how to do that. And I think it's a very fun video. I'm going to make one for spiritual counseling too. Check out my book, Words of Grace. Man, my career fell apart beyond my ability to destroy it as much as it was destroyed, but look at where I am now. And it was Carolyn Myss who said, a dark night of the soul is when your life gets screwed up beyond your ability to screw it up, because it's happening for a purpose. Let go of reason. Get up into the 8th chakra. You will see a larger purpose that involves not just you and not just the people you collaborate, but really all of humanity. I think the cats are figuring out on their own, don't you? Otherwise, thank you so very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and all. It is my pleasure to read you, my beloved crab cakes. Good luck in your work, career, vocation, and reach out as you need it when you're ready. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.